Hi, today I'm going to discuss the healthy benefit of a keto diet. If you don't know what is keto diet, you may go to my channel. I did a specific video to describe what is a keto diet. Here, just very brief to show that keto diet is basically higher in fat and low in carb, because the recent scientific studies show that overconsume of carb is related not for chronic diseases we are facing today in the society. So here just going to see some of the benefits of keto diet. And the first benefit is reduced seizures. And we know that keto diet has been used for treatment of epilepsy for since 1920s. And because this diet was sure to have beneficial results for those suffering from seizure, and this treatment is still in practice in current medical treatment for certain seizures. So if you have this medical condition, I think the best way for you is to seek for professional help. And also, if you want to understand more how to use this keto diet for the seizure treatment, this nice book, and this is the 6th edition now. And the title of the book is The Ketogenic and Modified Atkins Diet and Treatment for Epilepsy and Other Disorders. You can, and this book you can buy from Amazon. And the second benefit is last energy. And we know that when we use carb as energy source, and this glucose is have low efficiency, we usually easily feel hungry. However, when we use keto diet and the energy source is fat, and the fat is degraded to the ketone bodies, and the ketone body is very high efficient energy source. So the energy can be last longer. You're not going to feel hungry, and that's have a huge benefit for the human body. And the third benefit is that keto diet have anti-inflammatory effect. We know the inflammation is a very vital part of the immune system. When our body is suffer from surge, injury, or infection, we need inflammation to control the situation. Now, however, that in the normal situation, and if we have this inflammatory reaction to certain situations, may become a problem. And consumer of carbohydrate, because they constantly introduce this insulin, and that is related to a number of chronic diseases. So keto diet dramatically lowers inflammation because the reduced amount of free radical production that occurs when burning ketones for instead of glucose. And that's enough for more energy production, more efficient function body. Another important fact is the keto diet is anti-inflammatory, is that it allows blood sugar and insulin to produce lower and quick, very stable. We know the blood sugar imbalance is one of the most perceived inflammatory activity that goes on in the body. And because we heavily rely on the sugar for energy. So the ketone diet use fat as a source of energy. So the proof we don't need that insulin for the process. So because as I mentioned, insulin is one of the most important inflammatory factors to a number of chronic diseases. So that's the disadvantage for this ketone diet. And the fourth benefit is weight loss. And we know that when we use this ketone diet, actually is teaching the human body get a state of ketosis. And that ketosis is the way to break down the fat into ketone bodies. So we use ketone bodies as an energy source. And in this case, we can reduce fat. So that's why it's possible to reduce weight. So the number 5 benefit is reduced risk of type 2 diabetes. We know the type 2 diabetes is the result of the resistance to insulin, and this is caused by because we consume too much carbohydrates and create glucose. Glucose needs insulin to get into the cells. And because overuse of this system finally result in insulin resistant. So the insulin in the human body is not enough to maintain this balance. So you need some kind of external insulin to help this digestion of sugar. That's what causes. And ketone diet will eliminate blood sugar and insulin spikes, so that maintain this glucose at healthy and low level. That can reduce the chance of type 2 diabetes. And the 6th benefit is reduced risk of heart diseases. And we know ketone diet are very effective at reduced blood triglycerides and also low density lipoprotein. And these two are the important factors for heart diseases. And also ketone diet can increase high density lipoprotein, and that is good cholesterol. So by doing this, the ketone diet can reduce the risk of heart disease. And number 7 is the reduced risk of cancer. We know the cancer cells love glucose, and that they can grow very, very rapidly with glucose. Also, insulin is a cancer growth factor, and that's when you use carbohydrates will provide these 2 factors for the cancer to grow rapidly. And ketone diet, and because you use fat as energy source, that's degraded to the ketone bodies. With ketone bodies, so you need minimum amount of glucose, and also don't need insulin. That's why it have potential to reduce the growth of cancer. And also that we know that fat is associated with cancer. Ketone diet can result in reduce of fat, so does have potential to reduce the cancer. And its benefit is protect brain function. We know that ketone diet provides high efficient energy through ketone bodies, and so it's very efficient. The brain love ketones for the energy source. Thus, you can improve brain function through the ketone diet. And number 9 benefit is anti-aging, and we know the aging is closely associated with mitochondria, and because mitochondria have such profound impact on energy production, so the aging process is the process of the reduced energy production. So a ketone diet can improve mitochondrial energy output and can dramatically improve your life and lower your risk to acquire many chronic diseases. And so it's not only improve life longevity but also life quality, because you always fall for energy. That is important. Finally, this ketone diet have the potential to reduce risk of many chronic diseases, because I described in the early that ketone diet will replace carbohydrate, and so that in the body the glucose will be reduced to minimal, so you don't need this insulin for you to use the glucose. And that's provide very, very powerful tools to protect your body, because insulin is really inflammatory fact, which is related to many chronic diseases. So ketone diet is much clean fuels, so it can reduce all this fact associated with these chronic diseases. And that's the talk for today. I wish that this convince you that ketone diet is really helpful to you, and so many benefits, and if you practice it, you will bring you health, and also you are going to feel full for energy, because the system use fat as energy source. This is very high efficient energy source. And that's the talk for today. I wish to see you in my next video. Bye.